Other is when you say, make your points clearly. What is the point in doing this or that? That point is different. What is the point in doing this, doing that? That's somewhat like logical kind of point or something. It's gist of things. This point. Make your points. And, so we use this idea of point, which is not geometrical. A point is two things in relation. Two things relate to each other. So there is a story is made up of several points. There are three classes of points in it. One is sort of points regarding what all is participating in that story. What all participates in the story. Some points of that. Number two is when the story is being told, there are events happening. There are points of events. And then between points of events, there are points of consideration. This is straight from this story. What is it? Points of illustrations are there. So, like there's a point that it involves various characters. The story involves various characters. It actually involves just following characters. Kach is an active character. Shukracharya is an active character. Isra is a relation. Active character is one entity. Kach is one entity. Active character is an abstract entity. Kach is another entity. And Isra is a relation. Shukracharya is an active character. Devani is an active character. Daityaza is an active character, but it's plural. But they are taken as one character. And it could have been done by just one man. The entire story, if it's like Sherlock Holmes or something, it's just one evil guy who will do this story. There are variants of this story in triangular relations. You have variants of the story, which are three people where this story plays out. Exactly the same story. It can work that way also. So, and so there is teacher as a role. As a role is a relation, learning. Student has a role learning. Teacher has property called Guru Dharma. Students have property called social learning. We don't involve anything more than these entities. All entities involved in story are listed in these points. Learning involves object called knowledge. They are passive characters. Brahaspati is a passive character, which is there in Night of Kach and Shukracharya. And Devtas are also passive character, crafty Devtas. And Daityas are adversaries of Devtas. And Shukracharya is a teacher of Daityas. Brahaspati is a teacher of Devtas. Devyani is the daughter of Shukracharya. Kach is the son of Brahaspati. And then they have some logic. And their things. Sura, this wine is a thing. And ashes is also a thing. And dead body is also a thing. These are types of things. Ashram is a location. And Shukracharya lives in his ashram. And forest is also a location. Right. Learning is a phenomena. Life is a phenomena. Death is a phenomena. Burning is a phenomena. Burning happens to gross body, and burning produces ashes. These are things, if we know these things, the entire story can be told. These entities are existing. They can be put together and on a chair, they can be put on a table and you can say these are the this is a story. But they will relate among themselves in a chain of events, and there will be amounts of considerations. So the first thing, the Kutch desires to learn. There is around 40 points, 40 events occur in this. No less, more can occur if you have making a movie on it. Just not many points. But minimally 40 points are required. Kutch desires to learn with Sanjeevani Vidya. If he has no desire, the story will not start. And then there is a consideration that Sanjeevani Vidya has a knowledge. Death, thereafter bringing back to life, this phenomena happens. Some technical points here, but Sanjeevani Vidya makes possible this bringing back to life. That point. One point can be part of another point. Shukracharya could teach Sanjeevani Vidya. So these are considerations by which he desires to learn. These considerations are involved in fulfilling their desire. So, and because of these considerations, he approaches Shukracharya directly. He doesn't even ask for permission from Brahspati. As far as this goes. And Shukracharya accepts as student Kutch. There are considerations for it. He accepts it because he is son of Brahspati. Because Nityas are none of the rivals, etc. etc. The fourth event occurs is Kutch excels as student. Kutch never deviates from his Sishidhar. Guru Seva is his Sishidhar. And Vidyabhyas is his Sishidhar. We are all that. Next event occurs. Kutch becomes favorite student of Shukracharya, and Devani falls in love with Kutch. She falls right there because the reason for falling in love is not later. It's right here. Compared to Lodi students, he was very well behaved. Teacher is like father. His considerations are there. Teacher is like father. Kutch considers his sister Devani, and because Devani is the daughter, and because these are considerations. These are points referring to earlier points. And Daityas become envious of Kutch. And because considerations are, Devtas do not know Sanjeevani Vidya, Kutch would learn Sanjeevani Vidya, and Kutch could take students Devtas. That was the consideration. Devtas would know Sanjeevani Vidya, and they will use the advantage which they have on fight. Daityas afraid of this phenomenon, Kutch teaching. So, Daityas plot to obstruct this thing. Daityas, the next event happens, they kill Kutch. If you are making a movie, you will be much more points will be there. And Devani inquires about Kutch from Shukracharya. And Shukracharya has Divyadashti. Divyadashti is a kind of knowledge. Knowledge you have defined, subsection you have defined of. And Shukracharya uses Divyadashti, and which shows that he is dead. Shukracharya feels injustice done to Kutch. Shukracharya uses Sanjeevani Vidya and brings back from death Kutch. Kutch brought back to life, he comes back, the event happens. This is to show you this coming back. Daityas upset with this is coming back to life, the next event, and then they brought again. Daityas again bluntly, Shukracharya cannot revive Kutch in such a way, such that Shukracharya cannot revive Kutch. And Shukracharya goes, if he does, he goes to death. It then point is there. Logical points. Daityas spelling mistake is there. Again kill Kutch. And Kutch reduced to dead body. dead body, this constitutes dead body is inflamed by gas. This burning should be there, actually. And this causes burning in the image. And then it's turned to ashes. And then to mix Sura and ashes, the two entities. Nitya's mix Sura and ash. That's it. Shukacharya has a habit of drinking Sura. And Shukacharya, under the influence of Sura, drinks up the mixture. Devyani again inquires about Kach from Shukacharya. Shukacharya again uses Nisanjivita. It shows that all these points, that he's been killed, the crafty way is there in his stomach. And Shukacharya again feels injustice done to Kach. And he's in the stomach of Shukacharya. Kach is individual. Individual has gross body, individual has subtle body. Kach has gross body, Kach has subtle body. Subtle body not turned into ashes. Gross body turned to ashes. Shukacharya uses Nisanjivita. It's slightly complex. We have some points of come later on subtle body of Kach, and subtle body is capable of learning, which is revived by Shukacharya. And Shukacharya teaches Nisanjivita to Kach, and Kach will revive fully. Now Shukacharya revives fully Kach. Shukacharya will do that, and Kach should use Nisanjivita in his instruction to revive Shukacharya. And then Shukacharya is killed. Shukacharya teaches this point and to Kach. And Kach fully revives, Shukacharya fully revives Kach. Kach brought back to life, Shukacharya goes to death. Kach uses Nisanjivita, and on death, Shukacharya, because he's lying there, and Shukacharya brought back to life. Kach completes learning. Kach is to leave ashram. Devani proposes marriage to Kach, but Kach again says, Kach rejects proposal of Devani, and because of this, being a sister, Devani feels betrayed by him, and Devani gifted twice life to him, and to Kach. And she has, because of this residual power, to curse, and Devani curses, gives curse to Kach, and cannot use Nisanjivita. So Kach leaves ashram. He must leave, otherwise the story will not finish. That's it. That's the story. So this story can be dance, can be movie. These are the minimal points one must express. The rest is embellishment. The dance or how the story will be told. Drama, last drama. Otherwise. So this is the way the grammar of narrative is there, which matches with the grammar of drama or with dance, and so more extended grammar of film, where stage has become plastic or believable. Stage is believable. You can have a stage. Could do the settings 5 times at the most. In film, you can do 100 times. Move from so, various what has to be told to the world, what is worth telling to the world, and then using all kind of skills and powers and art forms to tell that to the world. So interesting things to be told to the world. When we, most of the time, modern days, movies is what are the storytellers. You have people who can give away their 3 hours immersion to movies very easily. Ask them to go for a trans drama, very few 3 hours. Trans drama of 3 hours is very difficult. So, but still there are, and, so say things which are relevant is to, I think, mythologize the contemporary world. Not necessarily in Kash Devyani, could be any fictitious character. Anybody, like Batman, to have somebody fictitious. The story has usually 6 types of entities, 5 types including event. One is the story has a theme. Every story has a theme, which is like learning, teaching. This is a theme. And sort of betrayal. That's also the theme. And then their characters, then their relations, then their things, significant things. Then there are locations, and then there are certain phenomena. So you have fantastic phenomena, fantastic locations, fantastic things, fantastic relations, fantastic characters, fantastic themes. You can build stories of them. So the list of fantastic such stories is all English movies. It's okay.
What is this framework called? This framework of analysis?
It's a point analysis.
Point analysis.
So can we say those 40 points that the narrative should have is like kind of status?
Yeah, in the storytelling execution, it's a kind of status. So when, but storytelling is not just a sort of road act. It's a road act, but it's also cultivated by visual art. So what traditions are there? There's a visual. Movies are built on Pachitra. Some other.
Yes, not
So there is a thing. You can have a bullet. You shoot. It sort of bypasses good people. You know that it's a bad person. So you can have such a Ramban kind of thing. Missiles which do not hurt children. It's not nothing but collateral damage. Wars. And so you can have fantastic things. You can have fantastic things of relationship or phenomena or character. Fantastic character. You had a character in one of the film. The infant. The moment it was born, it had a mind of old man, very mature man. By the time that infant becomes old man, it had a mind of child. So you can imagine such a character. And that is the story. This character will tell a story of an active life when he is married. It's almost same age group. Time is going up, almost like saying. So things are clicking well, society is clicking well in that age group, rest of it is all going down. So his wife has to become his mother. In the end, so everything his relations are going upside down. And it's a fantastic character. And West has innovated. Imagination is, there is a poverty of imagination in the country, in India. So, real poverty of imagination. And that is, it shows up in poverty of art. In a society which doesn't have cultural production, very low GDP cultural production. It's a sick society. Actually, a sick society is that which has no cultural production. And, among these low cultural production, some festivals, some yoga days, people things are picked up and they are projected as entire India. The volume is so thin. It should be better a country which is only size of Singapore.
It's just Hyderabad.
Huh?
Just
Yeah,
Hyderabad.
but even Singapore has more cultural industry than India, as percentage of everything. So it's very poor. There, one phenomena, fantastic political simulation, of a man who goes to die. But before he dies, he makes arrangement that his wife gets communication from him for next 1 year or 2 years. He plants a letter from somewhere, something, so that wife thinks that he's alive and he tells a story, etc. It's kind of fantastic. But you have location, fantastic location. Some Andromeda, some planet somewhere, there's a space station. In that space station, a phenomena happens that whatever you dream becomes real next morning, right there in front of you. So, this phenomena creates that somebody dreamt of his wife long dead. She's there in front of him. Storms happen. But then this guy doesn't know how to relate to his wife. He has had so many years without her. So somebody has strange kind of, strange looking kind of character, which has barely has some legs, but they're very quick and then look like a human. Animal or something. He's there. He's hiding that character in somewhere so nobody sees it. So dreams become real. What happens is that people begin going mad. It's known that people scientists who went to this space station never wanted to come back, and they were also going crazy. So a fact-finding mission is sent. What is gone there? What's going on there? So the fact-finding guy who's there, his wife is born. They tell him, okay, sit, have some good drinks and eat something we talk about. This is an urgent fact-finding mission, investigating stuff. He said, no, relax, spend some time there, we'll talk later. So then, whatever you dream becomes real, everybody sort of becomes crazy. You're doing all kind of things, trying to hide yourself, trying to injure somebody, trying to. So bad guys do all those things. So, and in the end, he's able to come back. The movie ends by. So he's touching feet of his father. My composure is from this lineage. The lineage, inheritances which I have, that is creating my composure. Without that, if some Jewish reality becomes more real, I'll lose my conversion. So to say this thing by this fantastic location, something like this can happen. This has been done in the West. Very fantastic stories are being told. And mythologies are being created. Mythic reality is being created. And it's not happening here. So we were a society, just a couple of generations back, which was full of artistic activity. So much so when the Britishers did survey, population survey of India, they asked, what do you do? So people didn't know whether, nobody said that to do agriculture. I mean, agriculture was done. There was something growing, something was good. But the total number of people who did agriculture in the first 71, 80 is 30%. Who did agriculture? Nobody. I mean, agriculture, we cultivate, but we do some other business. All agriculturists said dual occupation. Very few. And it's because of all kind of things happening in society that India became a rural society, agriculture society, it's an industrial society. Over 30% said they are in industry. They are in artist world, they are something, metal world, this world, that world. They were all, and large amount of people were like, charu. People who did the entertainment of others. Large number of people. I mean, they still show up in marriage registers. Because the Britishers, one thing that they did was they froze castes. They said, please register with us your caste. They did a survey and found out that they asked people, what is your caste name? So people invented caste. Not invented, they picked it from their papas, asked elders, some name they gave them. They asked for what is your profession. You know, in Madras Presidency, 56,000 caste names were written. Just in Madras Presidency. But they did a map to occupation. Occupation was 4,000. So make them, club them together, and found that most populous are Yadavs. They clubbed them some 2,000 castes into Yadavs. And this is how the list of 4,000 castes was born, which is in the Indian Constitution schedule. Most of them are scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. This list was born. So like mega tribes are made, mega castes are made. So, and the marriages are from mega castes. So the Charurati people are still visible there. They're wanting backward caste, scheduled caste status, whatever it is they're there. But these are the people, Charan, who moved around. The Telangana was really full of these people who danced, who sort of told stories, who painted, who embroidered clothes, who did all kinds of things, and who made all kinds of designs, the architects, designers of all kinds. There are large numbers of people. India is prosperity. One thing good about Bahubali is that it has shown image of past